What's up, America? I'm Danny T. Welcome to the show. Well, I guess no matter how you feel about the man, whether you like him or hate him, whether you agree with him or not, I think all of us can come together and agree on one thing. I don't think Nick Fuentes has ever seen a vagina in real life. I don't think he ever will. I think most of his ideas about women and relationships probably come from porn. I have nothing to back this up. It's just my assumption based on his comments. I'm talking about, a while back he was talking about how women like being forced sexually. I don't think that's realistic. I find it hard to believe that this guy has any knowledge on women whatsoever. I personally think he might be gay. Again, nothing backing that up. He just, he gives off twink vibes to me. On top of that, I mean, he's pretty much just a hot topic version of a neo-Nazi. He's just a little wannabe, in my opinion. I think he's there for shock value. Is really all it is. I don't consider this man to be a Republican. I know we have the woke right, the far right now. It's just a little fad is what's going on. I feel like these extreme. It's hard for me to side with extremes. I don't like extreme on either side. I don't like the extreme Democrats. I don't like extreme Republicans. I don't like extreme religions. I think somewhere in the middle of everything is where it's good for everyone in the United States. Um, on top of that, he's walking around telling people to vote Democrat right now. Uh, you only vote Democrat if you're a Democrat. Voting off. I mean, he's trying to convince you that somehow this is going to punish Trump. Somehow this is going to teach the Republicans a lesson uh, on something. I don't know what. The only thing it's going to do is hurt us. If you're a Republican, you should vote Republican. If you don't agree with what's going on, don't vote Democrat. Find a Republican that, sides with your values and your views on things and vote for that. That's how you make changes. It's just insane. I mean, he claims Trump lied about the war. I understand the no new wars comment. I'm not a warmonger by any means. I don't think war is good. I think the only people war helps 90% of the time is just the politicians. Most people don't care about who has oil, who has what land. Most people wake up every day, they just want to live their lives. So you're really not hurting anyone but yourself by voting blue. If you're voting into policies that you don't feel strongly about, why vote for it? It's just insane to me that it's even a suggestion. You're not hurting anyone but yourself by voting blue. If unless you're a Democrat, then yeah, hey, vote blue. But if you're a Republican, it's just asinine, in my opinion. Not to mention Trump didn't lie about anything. He's been saying Iran shouldn't be going nuclear since the 80s, well before his political career. I think he's been pretty consistent with that. Um, on top of that, we voted for Trump for a reason. It's Trump didn't just appear out of nowhere and all of a sudden get followers. I mean, the people with the same ideas Trump was talking about is why he got in office. We elected him in there. On top of that, he's claiming this is an Epstein cover up thing, and you know, you keep hearing about this Epstein class, but the victims are out there talking. Um, you have people on both sides, both Democrat and Republican, that want accountability. I think I'm the most Republican, patriotic person I know, at least. I don't know how others feel about me, but I'm all for transparency in our government. I'm all for, uh, disclosure with the Epstein case and accountability in that. Um, I don't think the Epstein thing is a party issue. So just throwing that out there is just to cause chaos. I feel like that's what this dude likes to do. He likes to just cause trouble, stir the pot, and he does a pretty good job of that. Um, the survivors are being heard. They're out there talking to people. They want their voices heard, and we want to listen. We want to hear it. We want accountability for them. I just feel like that's just not true. What he's saying about that. On top of that, the first lady has said she wants to give the victims their time in front of the committee, in front of Congress. Yeah, I feel like the ball is rolling in that. We're not being lied to. It's a slow process, you know. On top of that, even Epstein's suicide note was just unsealed. Whether you believe he killed himself or not, I mean, it's more evidence coming out. Um, I I just feel like it's being exaggerated. What's going on? What he's saying with that, also, uh, Nick Fuentes claims he's a Christian, but he's a Catholic. If you're a Catholic watching this, I'm sorry to say this, but denominations that have been around for longer than the Catholics, we kind of look at you guys like you're the Democrats of the Christianity. You're very liberal. You can see that with the Pope siding with the LGBT community on things, and it's just when I think Christianity, I think the Catholics are at the bottom of that list, in my opinion. Uh, I was raised Orthodox Christian. Uh, Maybe you've never heard of the schism, but the Catholics are newer. They want to do their own thing. I just don't consider them real Christians. It's better than other religions. At least you're on the side of Christianity with us, but really, if you're a Catholic, you're at the bottom of the list, in my opinion, when it comes to Christians. Sorry for that. If you're a Catholic, as I've said, it's just my opinion on it. Um, y- on top of this, he somehow supports white supremacy, but he's a Mexican. Are you a white supremacist or a Mexican? It's wild. Uh, I don't support hate in any aspect. Uh, I like to judge people by their character. There's plenty of shitty people, regardless of skin color or religion, out there that just lumping someone into a group based on one characteristic is pretty simple minded, in my opinion. Also, again, just my opinion. But I just don't think we should be taking our political advice from this guy. On top of that, it's hard to believe he's not a plant, especially with everything going on with the SPLC, all that, and then this guy's out here in our Republican Party. I don't know very many people that listen to Fuentes. I think I've met one person my whole life that likes the guy. There's a couple people like Shapiro. I've never met a single person that listens to Ben Shapiro. Uh, I'm not saying there's not followers out there. It's just weird how these people are out there pushing these narratives, and I just don't know very many people that are into them. If I'm wrong, let me know. If you like Fuentes, if you like Shapiro, let me know that I'm wrong, I guess. But nonetheless, this dude has admitted to liking Stalin. Hitler's a pretty cool guy in his opinion. He likes communism. He likes fascism. I don't like throwing those words around, especially now, but I mean, this guy claims them, which is wild. I don't think Stalin or Hitler or communism or fascism or oppression fits into the Republican Party. I don't think it fits into being an American, but especially not the Republican Party. It's just insane. And he's not the only one. As I said, uh, with everything going on, all this coming out, it just sounds like an echo chamber from the woke right mob. You have Megyn Kelly, you have Tucker Carlson, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene, you have Nick Fuentes. They all say the same things. All these talking points came out about the same time. It's really hard to not look at these people and think they're not some kind of plant. Again, I don't like to subscribe to conspiracies, but it's just weird how it just popped out of nowhere, and they're just here to shake up the system and go against the grain when it comes to Republican Party. Um, if it sounds like a Democrat, it's a Democrat to me. These people are just Democrats in disguise, in my opinion. Um, I mean, it's not freedom. It doesn't look like freedom to me what they're pushing. It looks like oppression. They want obedience. If you don't believe in what they want to cancel you, but sit there and play the victim. When they get canceled, I think everyone deserves a voice. Everyone should get to say what they want. I think it's good. We get to see how people really feel that way. At least you're not hiding your ignorance. People like Fuentes, people just, yeah, let them talk. Um, I just don't believe in it. I'm not going to take my advice on how to be an American, how to be a Republican, or how to be a Christian from, a little gay Mexican boy that's a racist. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand the following, at least from the Republican Party. I get maybe if you're some little rebellious teenager, sure, Nick Fuentes might sound cool to you, but as an adult, he just sounds like an idiot to me. I I don't know. As I've said, listen to who you want. Just make sure you're looking into things. If it sounds like a Democrat, if it talks like a Democrat, regardless of what they call themselves, it's probably a Democrat. Uh, Another rhino popping up here. My favorite rhino, Thomas Massie. I like to call him a cuck. It's just what he is. To me, he's just a loser. He's a loser. But he is looking at losing his job here really soon. I'm hoping so. Uh, he's up against Ed Gallery right now. Trump backs him. If you look at the GOP picks, Trump picked, a lot of them have been coming true. I'm really hoping Thomas Massie is the last on the list for this. Now, Thomas Massie claims 90% of the funds against him are funded by Israel. I think that's a little exaggerated, but I'm sure the number is pretty big considering the fact that all he does is bash Israel and Jews all the time. He's just another little racist, I guess. In my opinion, just by listening to him talk, it's just insane. I just don't understand the. I'm not here to defend Israel. I just don't understand where it comes from. Just show me some proof. I find it hard to believe that a country that's smaller than any state in America is controlling not just the United States, but the world somehow secretly. It's just insane. It's just baseless. Uh, I'm not saying we should be as close to them as we are. I understand lately, Trump has been a little extra buddy buddy with BB over there. But as I've said, I think that's part of the conflict that's going on in Iran right now. They're just our hand in the Middle East. That's all it is. I think people are looking way too into this. I think people are buying into these conspiracy theories too much. I have no problem walking away from Israel tomorrow and us not having anything to do with them. That's fine with me, but to just hate a group of people for no reason, it's just insane. World War II was fought to get rid of Nazis, to stop hatred, and it's still going on now. And it started with the Dems, and now it's piling into the Republican Party. It's just hatred for no reason, in my opinion. I just don't think it has a place here. Um, there's a lot of politicians I don't like. I don't want to see them hurt. I think they should lose their job. Maybe some should be in jail, some should be deported. But to just hate a whole nation, a whole group of people for no reason, it's just insane. I think Thomas Massie just does most of his policies. He's not America first. He's Israel last. I've said that before. It's just he just votes that way, and it's wild to me that I don't know. It doesn't matter if we benefited from something, he would vote against it if Israel is on board. It's just insane. Um, I mean, he doesn't listen to his followers either. When he took that poll on X, I tried to find the picture. I have a video. I posted the picture in before from his ex. I can't find it anywhere in my files. Um, but he took a poll from his followers of, if they agree with Trump going in Iran, and most of the people agreed with Trump, and he still kept pushing his thing. He's not a politician, in my opinion. He is, but he shouldn't be. I think maybe he should be a podcaster. You want to say what you want to say, you want to do what you want to do it. But when you're in politics, you need to listen to the people that voted you in office, and he just doesn't seem to do that. He only pushes the issues he cares about, in my opinion. Uh, you definitely would just be better as a podcaster. Do a podcast. Say what you want to say, talk shit about whoever you want to talk shit about, and at least you're not letting your followers down. People voting for things that want you to do certain things, and you're gonna do your own thing because you want to be a maverick or whatever the fuck they call you, dude. Like, just stop. Just get out of here. Nonetheless, the GOP primaries have shown that the MAGA party is still alive and kicking. I mean, a lot of hardcore Republicans are winning. As I've said, I've never really considered myself a MAGA because I've had these same feelings before Trump. I'll have them after. I just said it earlier. Trump didn't make us. We voted Trump in because he has the morals that we have. He's doing what we want him to do. It's not the other way around. People think just because Trump's out of office, this whole little movement's going to go away, and it's not. Yeah, we don't need Trump. We don't need MAGA. This is what the Republican Party is now. This is the direction it's going, and it's going to keep going no matter who is in office, who isn't in office, whether we have a president in office or not. Our feelings are going to remain the same. It's just who we are now. Uh, but moving on from two Democrats that call themselves Republicans to the only real Democrat here, Ilhan Omar. She didn't show up to her May 5th uh, hearing to talk about her involvement with a $250 million Feeding Our Future fund. She just needed to write a letter, show some emails, some texts between people that actually were, involved, that are implicated. As I've said, there's been over 60 people have pled guilty so far in Minnesota frauds. It's hard to believe that her rubbing elbows with all these people and them being her friends, that she didn't have something to do with it. They need someone up there. I think Tim Walz is too much of a retard to help people out. Whether I understand he lets the fraud go on, but he's definitely not the mastermind behind anything. Uh, really want to see Ilhan Omar's involvement. Nonetheless, after that, there was a vote for a subpoena for her to get the records, and unfortunately, it failed. They needed 6 votes. 5 Republicans voted uh, to bring her in, and 3 Democrats voted against it. So it's not happening. The next possible steps is either a congressional subpoena from the Oversight Committee, or they need to do an ethics probe into her. Those are the next steps following, since this failed. I mean, they're gonna get her one way or another in there to see what happens. I think her running from this and avoiding it just, it kind of shows that, maybe she's a little guilty. You can't just throw around accusations, but uh, if she had no involvement in this, I feel like she would comply, as any normal person would. I think the only reason why she's doing this is because she does have something to hide. The fraud's ridiculous. I think it's going to catch up to her eventually. Yeah, it's just insane. I really want to see something done with this. As I've said, Dr. Oz has been doing the Medicaid and Medicare frauds everywhere. I'm sure just more information is going to come out, more evidence. I really just find it hard to believe that she had nothing to do with this. It's just crazy to me. But moving off this to a positive note, with the Charlie Kirk assassin here, Mr. Robinson, uh, the judge ended up denying the plea from the defense to ban cameras from the courtroom. So it will be videotaped. We'll get to see things happen in real time. Uh, we won't have to rely on podcasters lying to us about what's going on. We'll be able to see the evidence in real time, watch the court dates in real time. I think that's awesome. It's great that the kid is looking at the death penalty. I think he does deserve corporal punishment for what he did. It was very gruesome, especially it being televised, I mean, or whatever, up on the internet. It was being recorded. It's just wild. But unfortunately, his case is getting pushed back yet again. It's being delayed until July 8th now. I'll be here giving you guys up to date, my take on everything going on as it's going on. That's all I got for you today. If you like things I talk about on here in America, give my channel a like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Rumble. It's where I like to be. And I'll see you later, America.